All right, got a couple of questions. The 540 locking mechanism, if you're trying to push it to the left and it just doesn't seem like it wants to move, there's actually a little pin on the top side of this lever that fits into a hole, and you have to press downward subtly, I mean not cranking on it, and then over. And you'll get it to unlock if you're having a tough one. And then another question is about the dedication plates on the front. There's really not a good way to take those off without leaving some residue, some glue, some discoloration, because this clear coat finish has been exposed to oxygen and daylight and sunlight and whatnot, environmental and variables. And then underneath that plate, it's covered. So even if you can get it off without any stickum or glue or residue or scratches, you still have the chance that it's discolored. So one thing that you can do is pull that off and then put a new plate over the spot and have that plate just be naming the clock JLC Atmos 540 Classique Elysee, serial number 671119, date of manufacture 10/6/1993, stuff like that. Or you can actually personalize it and dedicate it to somebody. Those are just a couple ways. It is a shame that those plates went right on the finish of the case like that. That's why I came up with the black marble base, which we put the plate onto that instead of risking the finish on the clock. But this one's been all cleaned and it's ready for assembly. So we'll do that here live now tonight and hang out. And then of course people can always watch us later. You with me, buddy? Huh? Are you with me while I work, Wally boy? Oh, that's good. I can use the company. Big guy. You'll know how to service these before long. So all of our jewels are clean and pivots look good. about? Huh? Is this too boring for you? Yeah, I know. It's boring. Boring stuff here. Can you talk about what affects the value the most? Date, ranges, style, number, conditions. Oh, thanks for joining, man, and thanks for the question. What affects the value the most? I guess, like, in terms of either A or B, of a running clock is more valuable than a non-running, just because of the amount of cost and effort it goes through to get it serviced or get it running, get it working, whatnot. But also the case condition plays a factor. If you have a great timekeeper, great running clock, but the case is in rough shape, it deters buyers. And sometimes people are concerned or questioning when I go and gold plate or refinish a case, if I'm not destroying the antique value by doing so. But in reality, when I do that, it increases the value by about 3 times as much. A, because it comes out so great and looks like an original finish, but B, simply because people don't like to look at the rough cases. Okay, so then there's another thing, is kind of the desirability and then limited quantity. You really don't see a lot of those marina models, the 532s with the fish motif. You don't see a lot of them, and people really like them. So those are quite high dollar sales, as well as the very old 519s with the turn knob for the regulation. Like, they're like under 20,000 serial number and less. So it kind of depends on what model. If these limited edition models and things that are seldom seen tend to be quite a bit more valuable than the run-of-the-mills that you kind of constantly see, the 528 model, which was kind of the largest produced model, or most produced, I should say. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself here. I was gonna see how that runs first. But great question. I hope I answered it well. It's kind of hard to pinpoint what is more valuable than another, simply because the desirability or demand is a factor. But I gave you 2 good pointers. When the rough case, I mean, if you can get a clock that needs service but the case is in mint condition, I think I would grab that. Well, I shouldn't say because I'm able to grab all of them. I can redo the bad cases. But I do charge $650 for a brass restoration, or $1,000 for a gold replate, 24 karat. So, those are additional expenses on top of a clock that's in rough case condition. Say you get it for $300, but you want to make it look nice. Well, now you're up to $1,300, $1,500. So you kind of could consider that versus getting one that's in mint shape already and all that running and whatnot for roughly the same thing. So kind of a trade-off on the value points for those. And thanks again, for joining. I appreciate it. I thought I'd just get this done, and well, why not click live? If someone's here, they can watch. If not, you can always watch it later. This 540 is going to be for sale this Christmas, as long as it doesn't need a suspension wire. If it only needs this overhaul, which I just have done here today, we'll get this for sale for Christmas. If it needs a wire, I have another 540 I will sell in its place. So there will be one for sale either way. But the wire changing stuff, it adds quite a bit of time onto my service routine. Because anytime you replace a wire, you have to go and readjust all kinds of calibrations, as well as the mass, timing mass, which are weights underneath this balance wheel, have to be reconfigured and found again. And I'm just doing that by running the clock and then judging where the timekeeping is, fast or slow, then adding weight. And you have to dial it. You kind of bracket the timekeeping, and then you get it dialed in closer, 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 and you might go over. And once you've gone over, you're kind of happy because now you know where you're at and you found it finally. And so then you back it up, and all that just takes time. So, but this one looks like it's going to run great for me so far. You know, that's kind of a preemptive diagnosis, but I see that it has great motion. The balance rotation motion is awesome, and I'm looking at the roller's position. Now, one question people will have about my how to start Atmos video is I mentioned 270 degrees, but then if you go and watch your balance rotation, you'll see that this balance wheel will actually travel over 360 degrees. Now, how is that possible? Well, the reason that happens is because up at your top here, where your impulse roller is, your collar and your roller spring, this is not fixed, okay? That spring is in place there. And so I'm watching the roller 270 degrees, but that means that that wheel could actually turn further. But that's why I'm always keeping my eye up here. And that's the important spot anyway, because we're looking at the pallet fork. So here's another balance with these weights on the bottom here. And these are specific to the position of the balance, like how high I got it up there, how low, and there's like 2 millimeter range there. And then as well as the position of the regulation clamp, which is not on here, but it fits on the wire and it slides down into this roller collar at the top here, and that position will also affect the timekeeping. And then the diameter or thickness of the wire varies. You can't, you know, very well produce identical wires over and over again. There is some variation. So when that happens, or anytime a wire is changed, I have to go in and recalibrate the weights. And that, I mean, that isn't like a job that takes a long time. It's just the amount of running the clock has to do to get dialed in that takes a long time. Unfortunately, I can't make time tick any faster. Or slow it down. Maybe that would be better. Depends on what you're doing. If you're having a good time, you want time to go slowly. If you're not having too much fun, you want to speed it up. Like if you're watching this live stream, it's like watching paint dry. And then after I say that, everyone leaves. They're like, you're right, what are we doing? Now, why don't my chat stay up there? It should be there. Okay. Well, I think it's looking good, and since you're here, I'll go and put the dial on, give you something to look at while I'm blabbing my mouth away here. We gotta get our dish rag and wipe that up. And underneath this 540 base is a nice feature. This extra screw here is an extra support for the balance wheel. So not only do you have your locking mechanism, which on these models, you'll actually go into the case and move your lever and lock versus the bottom. So you have that, but then you also have your additional balance locking nut here. Now, when you're at home and whatnot, moving the clock around, you don't need to go and engage this, but if you're gonna ship it in the mail, it's a great idea. Or if you're going to move across country and things like this, lock your nut at the bottom, and don't leave your Atmos clock to the moving crew. Either bring that with you yourself, like one of the few things you'll move yourself should be your Atmos, and you bring it in your vehicle with you, or else even ship it to yourself. ship it to a family member or ship it to your partner who's already there, or if you know you're going to be there prior, and you could work that out so then you could just have it sent to you and insure the package and whatnot. Make sure everything gets there safe and sound. But I have serviced quite a few clocks that have been left to the movers, and then it ends up being a service job for me typically. If you have any more questions, please feel free to ask them. You are not bothering me at all. In fact, I'm grateful to have someone to talk to while I do this. It's been about, well, it'll be 8 years this December 6th since I created Curt's clocks. A lot of you know that that isn't technically when I started, but 8 years of working in solitude. I'm finally coming out of obscurity to have somebody to talk to while I work. We'll have to see if that causes me to break more things or lose more things and whatnot. I suppose it could happen. I haven't broken Atmos clock parts for a long time. Knock on wood. Am I asking for it to happen now that I say that? Haven't broken Atmos clock part for a long time. Some of the smaller watches and things that I have, but it's been a while for those too. So I'm doing well. And if I ever do break a part while servicing a client's clock, I never charge it to them. I charge it to myself. So that's my incentive or reason, the reason why I don't break them very much. It costs me some money to make a mistake. But mistakes happen, we all do it. It's not like you're a terrible clockmaker if you break a part. My father breaks parts himself, and he was certified in 1978, so it's part of the business, but what time is it now? And I'm leveling it here using my balance tube. If you haven't seen my instructions or videos with that technique, that's kind of my claim to fame, I guess, as far as leveling the clocks go. It's a great strategy. You got to do some timekeeping adjustments over here. Can you see? I wonder. Here. Turn this off. Move it down. $7.50. And this one's on, this one's on, this one's on, this one's slow, this one was a wire job. So I've been regulating this one for quite a while now. This one was a wire job and it's off quite a bit. More than the regulation lever is going to be able to adjust, so I'm going to have to adjust the weights on that. And it's running slow, which means it needs lighter weights. This one's on, that one's on, but needs its dial. This one needs a small increment to the advanced side. This one's running very slow, and this one's going to need a suspension wire. I'll make one last regulation here, and then I'll be done fighting with it, and I will go and replace the wire. The timekeeping gets sporadic on a bad wire, and you'll get it up there, and then it'll jump around, and it won't stay on spot. All right, let's do that one now. Let's get the weights going on that. If you're still here. Well, 4 of you are still here. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thanks, great info. Yeah, thanks for the question. You don't have any more questions, do you? Come on. I almost have to make like another theme. ASMR. What did that say? Put ASMR in the caption, it will go viral. What's that mean? Ask me anything, ASMR. I feel like I need to make like another theme behind this, like I'm talking to like a philosopher, like a Joe Rogan, and I'm just repairing, or you have someone else that's more entertaining than I am to talk to, and you come to hear about the infrastructure bill or whatever, and then you're introduced to Atmos clocks on the side. I think that would be kind of smart, but But, you know, there's a lot of ideas, I guess. Here's my scale, some of the more popular weights I'm using. And then I have a whole bunch of Atmos clock weights, piles of them. These are a lot of the big heavy weights that I don't use much. They come off of the old 519s, which had a thicker suspension wire during production, so that's why they had such huge weights. I mean, this one is, well, how many grams is that one? Let's see. These skinny ones I'm using are 3.2, and then a 2.1, and then a 1. Wow. 7.6 grams. It's not something I'll ever really use. I don't know why my chat's not staying up here. It just fades away after I look at it. This little round one, as you get to the final touch, final timer, you kind of get to smaller and smaller weights. Lock it in on precision. That's a 2.1, and we're going to replace that with a 3.2. So we add 1.1 gram on each side here. I thought that looked a little bit bigger. That one's 3.4. My scale must be out of whack. That's what this nickel's for. Yep. Tear. There we go. There we go. All right, guys. Any more questions? We'll have to come back. He is a real pro. Wow, thank you. I appreciate it. Awesome. Michael shipped me a plate for 520. Now why sure enough shipped me a plate for my 528. Thank you. Got it running. Yeah, very good. Very good. Glad that worked for you. And I had a reasonable price on it even, didn't I? Well, guys, I hate to turn it off while you're all here. It's like I got to start another one. Just keep working. Oh. You could do another Atmos clock if you want to hang out. Keep going? More? Or yes? Yes, yes. Do another Atmos clock? Yes or no? And guys, make sure to click the like button. It helps. Well, how about this? We'll just clean the glass up on here. Or what? Let's see what the people have voted. Yes. Not sure. Not sure yes what, but yes. Well, if you want to, I see 4 of you. I have another question. I think you have a video on this, but if a person wanted to adjust the time, only move the big hand forward, correct? Never backward, or the small hand? Yeah, the big hand is the minute hand. That's what I refer to as a minute hand. You always want to move that forward. The hour hand or small hand can actually go either direction. It's just pressed on. You can turn that either way, but you just want to set your time going clockwise with just the minute hand. As long as the hour hand is tracking and following correctly, that's all you'll have to touch. Well, what do you guys think? Should I service Mr. Foster's 522 really quick with you guys here? Or should we save it? I know that you saw the other one recently, or some of you did, but it just happens to have that I have 2 522s in a row like this. If you want me to service it, please let me know in the chat. Otherwise, I will cut off here tonight and we could come back later, come back tomorrow or next day, whatever. Let me know. I'm going to go make some tea and I will come back and see what you guys have decided. How are you, Mama? Well, two of you are still here. That means you want to see some action. I guess I'm kind of on the hook. I have to do more. Keep going, keep going, keep going. My clients will be happy. They'll be happy to have their clock back. Oh, you know what? This one's not next. I got another one to do. We'll do this 528.6, and it's down to 1. Maybe not tonight. But here's one with as long as there's one of we're back. As long as there's one of you, I will keep going. So when you guys quit, and that's when I quit. Here's one that they describe as the minute hand fell off, and of course, it's a lift-off cover, so that means that it's not just falling off. And then, you go and pick up the minute hand, and you'll see that piece of that fourth wheel staff is still in the minute hand here. So that, in fact, was broken off. And this is something that I have kind of harped on before or mentioned before, which is these lift-off covers would catch the minute hands and snap that fourth wheel staff, and then in order to replace that, you have to service the entire movement anyways. And in order to get this piece out of the hand, I have to do this with my hands puller separately here. Push that out and pin. And away it goes. Minute hand, or hour hand, what you described as a short one. See how it's just press on over the top of the hour wheel? So you can rotate that without any problems. My tea water's hot. I'm going to go pour that now. I forgot to write in the book what I had just finished here, which was this 540's for sale, going to be listed for sale. And then this one's a client, so we'll put here. Okay, I'll pour the water and I'll be right back. Two of you. Awesome. Well, we begin. We'll do this real quick like. Don't want to rush though. I gotta focus a little bit or I'll start wrecking stuff, I suppose. And that dial's a little bit stained up. We'll clean that up as much as we can. Five people tuning into the most exciting show on the planet. There has never been such an exciting YouTube show as watching this. And feel free to ask any questions you'd like. It's not a problem. Ooh, flat bellow, flat bellow. Broken fourth wheel, flat bellow. (10/21/1964). Yep, she had 1964. She was on there, on the money. Flat bellow. So now you know I don't just make things up. I have plenty of clocks to fix, so I don't need to make up bellow refills out of thin air. Now this one, has a leak in it somewhere. And the reason I can tell is because when it's just a matter of the gas deactivating or losing its molecular charge and whatnot, there's a vacuum present, and this bellow will be sucked down tight as a pancake. But this is puffed up, and that means there is a hole. There's a leak. And so we'll have some extra to do with the bellow unit. So now when I make this, let's see if it puffs up even more. A little bit, not much. And that is lead solder. Well, I'll show you looking for leaks on another one. I'd have to go fill up my bucket and stuff, and I'll come back to that tomorrow. But I do need to make a little tag so I know whose is whose. Although I could just look at the dates, but do it like that. Now there aren't a, you read online that it's always the bellows that have gone bad, but it doesn't happen that frequently. I'd say, I don't know, 15, 20% of the time you'll find a flat bellow. I'm kind of running out of space here with everything. Very dry mainspring. Stoppage alert, stoppage alert. Careful, careful, careful. Don't get too crazy, don't get too hyped up. Tip of my screwdriver is broken. And there it is. That's why the minute hand fell off. If anybody needs some broken fourth wheels for 528s, 519, 526 fives, here they are. You can repivot them. Pile of them here. Don't tell me I'm out of fourth wheels. There's gotta be one here somewhere. Flat 40. Might have run into a problem here. Thought I had at least one more fourth wheel. Bummer. Bummer, bummer, bummer. Well, guys, I have to order a fourth wheel for this movement. Unfortunately, I thought I had one last one, and I must have used it because I don't see it. So, I think we'll have to quit now. I tried to keep going. I tried. Unless is it back in there somehow? No. I have 540 fourth wheels. They're longer. Not the same one. And I could take it out of one of my clocks, I suppose. Just borrow it and replace that. Do that. That looks weird. Or I could just stop and go order one. Yeah, well, I suppose we could look at the bellow. I could show you the leak. I kind of keep my bellow refilling secret for now. But I have showed you how to look for leaks before, so that's no big deal. Yeah. That's the way it goes. We'll look at the All right, for that we come over here. Where can we put this so that you can See what I'm doing. My lead time for service, let's see, I have about 6 to 8 months backlog right now. And that is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 33, 34, 35. Currently have 35 Atmos in line, so that's about 6 to 8 months, and it varies a little bit. I kind of lean on the longer side and then get it back sooner, and they're happy about it. And it also depends on how many clocks need wires replaced in the queue, or how many need a part, like this fourth wheel that I have to order, unfortunately. I'm kind of bothered by that because I could have swore I had one left, but I must have used it. Alright, where are we at? And I suppose you're not going to be able to see what I'm doing, but I'll tell you. Just looking for bubbles here. And they're on there just from surface tension And you gotta wipe them away and look for the spot where they come back. You gotta have pretty good eyes to do this method. And I'm not finding one yet. Uh-oh. If they're in the seam on the side of the bellow here in the membranes, those are really tough. Often I can't repair those. I usually will try, but those are rough ones. But no, I don't see any leak there. What we'll do is we'll blow this up a little bit more and see, add a little more pressure to it. Another thing we do here too is squish. Squish. Once you get them under compression, they'll pop up sometimes. Nothing wants to show up. Just my luck. Just because of the live stream, I suppose. And I will put some of the ethyl chloride in here too as well to find leaks that way. I have a feeling the molecules for that ethyl chloride are much smaller than my CO2. And so this is kind of a first step, kind of a crude test. You find when you have really big holes, you find it like this. But okay, there we go. There it is. Found one. All right, now how can I show you what I see? Okay, there is a hole here I found with my air. Watch my phone fall right into the... Okay, right up here on this side. Put this in the water. See that big bubble that popped up here? And I can't look at the same time where I'm pointing to show you. Hopefully you saw that. But yep, I found one. Found a leak, Rooney. So that's what that's all about. Well, I want to keep going here, so I'm gonna pull a wheel out of a clock of mine just so we can keep going, and then I'll replace it when I have the time to order. Okay, these are gonna go in the cleaner, and I'm gonna pull a wheel, and that will also go in the cleaner with it. All right. Got a center wheel. And we'll put this through cleaner. Took this out of my clock, and so I'll have to replace that another time. Run these through the cleaner, and it'll be a brief intermission. You can come back or leave or wait or do whatever you like. You could ask me some questions too. I'd be happy to answer. What is your average? Yep, we got that one. Be a little noisy. Be back in about 5-10 minutes. Got the ultrasonic cleaner going, got the dryer box going, and now we're going to start with the air compressor. Well, down to one. Don't blame them. Don't blame them, but thank you. You're the true live stream savior. People can always watch later. It's not a big deal. I think it's pretty good that I'm able to get anyone to join in on these at all, to be honest with you. Highly sophisticated subscribers, I tell ya. That's what it is. The most sophisticated subscribers on YouTube. Right here. Watching something so boring as this. If you typed in how to make a YouTube live stream or how to make a successful live stream channel, I'm pretty sure you will never hear them suggest that you walk away from the camera and leave your audience unattended and wondering what on earth is going on. So every time I come back and someone's still here, I'm very grateful and happy and surprised. You can't walk away from the camera and hope to still have a full audience. I like to do it because it mixes it up a little bit. It makes it more interesting. Gives me someone to talk to, and even if nobody's there, I can still pretend like I'm talking to somebody. Kind of makes it exciting again and fun. But I'm gonna go run through the rinse and blow off with the air compressor, and I suppose I'll lose my final viewer at that point. But thanks for all you've done so far, and if you're still here, well, awesome. I won't complain. There's a lot going on here. A lot of calibrations and positions that have to be very fine-tuned. That's where all the timekeeping results, right in this point here. Because all the power, I shouldn't say all of it, but it's where it ends up because all the power is transferred from the movement over up to that roller. Still got one. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Besides washing, I'm also working on vintage 70 vacuum. Oh, very good. That's what I like to hear. Vintage Lates. If only you could share your video with me, we can be working on it together for a vacuum tube guitar amp. All right. Cool. That sounds fun. I don't know much about them at all. Although I was listening to some Foghat today. Do 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 do. Wow 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 I think you get the point. That's how I'll get my subscribers and viewers up, is by doing goofy stuff on camera. Part of the process. Yeah, I know it is, but it's, it's not captivating. You have to captivate the audience and keep them entertained, and if you drop the ball for 1 second, they're gone, man. But yeah, when it comes to repairing Atmos clocks, this is not the most popular show on television. But I think, I was gonna see what I was doing last couple streams that worked out well is I pull up the stream on my video here and I can look at your chats. But of course now it says that my version of YouTube on this is outdated, and I did try to update it, so maybe I just need to restart. And then I can see what you're writing to me, hopefully. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. What the heck? And oh, I guess I have to uninstall. Uninstall. Come on now, uninstall. Boom, 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 boom. Install YouTube, install YouTube. Oh, you can't see my 540 over here running. Should have that in the frame. Still running. Keeping time too. It's a miracle, I tell ya. Get that in the frame a little more. It's over there, it's running. Okay, YouTube is open. It's working. Live. 2 people watching. Live chat. LOL YouTube. Haha. I said television on purpose, but yeah. You think they would let me on television? I don't know, man. I don't think so. But help me come up with ways to make this more interesting. What should I do? I mean, obviously, it needs some higher quality equipment and feed. That wouldn't hurt. And then as far as the content of the show, what would make it, to find another topic, which is the focus of the show, and then the Atmos clock is what I do while I'm talking about some other nonsense. You think that's the ticket? Could be. I think I'll get somebody to like film me while I'm working. That might help. I will hire somebody someday. And I'll probably even teach someone how to service the Atmos clock someday. So that's kind of what these are practicing for, is when I have to instruct someone. And giving me some company, like I mentioned. Gotta talk, because I might forget how to speak English or something. If I sit here for too long, silently, I might go mute. I'm a mute and a mutant. I'm a mutant. What does it say? Remember to guard your privacy and abide by our community guidelines. Well, my privacy. I don't know how I'm going to do that with my live stream. The community guidelines, I think I'm following those, but that's why nobody's here. It's not controversial enough. Oh, I dropped a screw. Breathtaking. moment in the show. Thank you. It is fine art. I think so too. Where art and science meet here. And now, since I don't have a lot of space, I will reattach that at the end when we got the movement ready to go. And I mentioned on my other stream that I put the best looking screws on the front, so I look through and find ones that are rough, or more rough I should say, than the others, and I put them on the back of the movement where nobody sees them. A lot of them are good, not much wrong with any of them. I'll tell you one thing, after working on Atmos clocks, it's hard to work on anything else ever again. I mean, you take apart your weed whip or your whatever, and they're just not made with Swiss precision. I made a motorized bicycle this past summer out of these Chinese motor kits, and they are junk. It helped me realize how spoiled I am to work on these fine Atmos clocks with this Swiss watchmaking going on. Can't beat it.